Are you ready for the best damn radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head out to manhour.co. The new website's still coming off the tongue a little bit. Manhour.co. That's C-O. Head over there. You got the merchandise page. Of course, you got the blog section as well. And then, of course, we got some other things happening over there, which is good things for everybody that is involved over with the Man Hour community. Manhour.co is the news site there. But first things first, let's get shocked. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, normally I don't dabble too much into the NBA at all. I despise the NBA and just, this is a football show, so this is why we very rarely dabble in the NBA or college basketball or whatever, right? But this Ja Morant thing has kind of got me fired up a little bit. Not because of what he did or what he said. So if you guys don't know, he flashed a gun on IG Live last summer. He punched a 17-year-old kid last summer, but now all of a sudden it is mainstream news. Now all of a sudden, oh, if you flash a gun, you're going to get killed. Which I get all these people, all these black hosts on ESPN and Fox Sports, like I get what they are saying. I understand that if you flash a gun, obviously you want to execute violence with violence. So if you bring a gun, I'm not bringing a knife to the fight, right? Like I get that. But where was this reaction when this happened last summer? Last summer is when this reaction, Combs. This happened last summer. Where was this reaction last summer when it happened? How about this? How about when that Morgan Waller said the N-word like 8 years ago? Where was it happen when it happened then? Now all of a sudden it's cancel him. Guys, shut up with that crap. Shut up with that crap. Combs, what are your thoughts about that?
Question to it all before you just said that it happened last summer is they don't have security before they get on a team plane? They don't have to go through a security check
Not
to get on a team plane?
Well, if you remember right, wasn't let's look back like the 1990s. Wasn't it like Allen Iverson that had a gun or something? No. I can't remember.
Probably. I mean, Ray Rice killed somebody. He's in the Hall of Fame now.
Allegedly killed somebody. Allegedly. And it was
he
Ray
had
Lewis.
The body in his trunk. Ja Morant is a guy who could be the face of the NBA. I mean, this is a huge deal. The thing is that they're talking about like a 50-game suspension for this guy. I mean, look, rules are rules. If you broke the law, you've got to atone for your actions. Do I think it's a big deal? No. Do you think it's a big deal? Probably not. But in the eyes of the law, I mean, look, just why would this is why kids? I tell my daughter this all the time. The reason why kids today get in trouble is because of. Sorry, I got some feedback there. The reason why kids today get in trouble today because of social media. They post stuff on social media.
Facts.
If he didn't post this on social media, nobody would know he had the gun with him.
Yeah. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. It is asinine. In the end, whatever. He is probably going to get made an example of. Let's just be honest about it, because you always have to have that one to set an example of, right? Like back in the 90s when like all those NBA stars were doing the gangbanger sag my pants to my knees type of look. Then all of a sudden, you got to wear a suit and tie everywhere you go, right? It just, there always has to be that example from somebody from somewhere. But Combs, we got to welcome some people into the chat here. We got Chris Spurgeon up in the chat. He says, "What's up, Buck?" And I say, "What is up, Chris? What's up, Spurgie? Hope you're having a grand old night." Combs, they don't know you. You are never on, man. I mean, I am the face, and you're just like, you're kind of just like the afterthought.
But I'm the smart one of the two.
If you want to say that. And then we got Javier jumping in the chat here. He jumps out the question. He jumps out the bat. Right off the bat here, he says, what if Andy Dalton signs with the Buccaneers? Do you want to answer that question?
If Andy Dalton signs with the Buccaneers will have the #1 draft pick next year.
Oh, and Combsy, that is where you're wrong here. We're going to start your welcome back party on this high note, Combsy. Because if Andy Dalton goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl bound, baby, give that man the trophy right now. Andy Dalton's going to put that ring on his finger. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league. He is going to follow that GOAT up and become the GOAT Junior there. Andy Dalton to the Buccaneers. Championship written all over it, Combsy.
I repeat, I'm the smart one of the two.
Oh, we will see. Only time will see when it comes in here. We also got my man Alpha Rob jumping in the chat. What's up, Alpha Rob? Hope you're having a grand old night as well, my man. Haven't seen Alpha Rob too much in here lately because, the 10 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. His mommy says he's got to be in bed by 9. So maybe at one point we can flip back to the earlier time because I got another line.
It's a Bills thing.
It's a Bills thing. Mommy says it is bedtime. Have you seen the new rendering of their stadium?
I have, yeah.
It doesn't look very impressive to me, to be honest with you.
No, it look, they need a state-of-the-art stadium in Buffalo. You can't be playing in negative 45-degree temperatures with 18 feet of snow on Saturday night into Sunday morning.
So you're saying they need a dome stadium is what they need. That's what you're saying, right?
Well, yeah, they need a dome. I mean, that's what I mean by state-of-the-art stadium. I mean, all the state-of-the-art stadiums are domes. Nobody's getting a non-dome stadium anymore. Yeah, even your Chicago Bears leaving historical Soldier Field for a dome stadium in nice suburb America. Man, stay in the hood, baby. Damn. Don't leave Chicago. Stay in that hood. Stay in the hood, right, Combs?
No, the Bears do not need to stay in the hood. They need to move, and they need to move fast, and Virginia McCaskey needs to die.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
That's the only way the Bears are going to get better.
Tell us how you really feel. So I am trying to figure out this new mixture, Combsy, and I cannot figure it out for the life of me. I
hear every word I say coming back to me in my ear.
Are you now? Oh man.
Yeah. That's why I stopped earlier when I was talking. I was like, I was confused, but yeah. I'm used to it now, so I can go. We're good.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to figure it out, but let's get into some new news. Ready?
Yes, sir.
New news number 1. Chosen Anderson, Combs, a.k.a. Robbie Anderson, is expected to be released from the Arizona Cardinals, saving them about $12 million in cap space. Big deal?
Welcome to Chicago, Robbie Anderson. Welcome to Chicago. $120 million in cap space. Welcome to Chicago, sir.
Now it's your turn. Number 2 is you.
Oh, I didn't know we were going back and forth.
Oh yeah.
That is my fault. Give me a second here. Let me give me. I'm.
This is our first time doing this. We're trying to get back on the same page, Comey.
All right. So Lamar Jackson and the Ravens remain apart with their deal. Franchise tag deadline is Tuesday.
Yep. Lamar Jackson isn't getting a deal done. He's getting tagged. Give the man what, $42 million a year, I think it is. It is what it is. Tony Pollard has officially been tagged by the Dallas Cowboys, and he'll make $10.9 million a season. Good move for the Cowboys?
Great move for the Cowboys. Great move for the Cowboys, as long as he plays under the franchise tag.
There you go.
Jags tight end Evan Ingram has also been tagged. Good move for the Jags?
This is a great move for the Jags. Keep that core intact there and work out a long-term deal after you see no other tight ends are out on the market next season. Your boy, Allen Robinson II, has been given permission to seek trade from the LA Rams. Are you picking him up?
Welcome back to Chicago, Allen Robinson.
Also, caveat, the Rams are willing to pay $15.5 million of his salary. So they're saying, take this man, and I'll pay you to take him. What?
Allen Robinson and Robbie Anderson and all the other wide receivers we're going to pick up this year. Weapons for Justin Fields, baby. I'm pumped.
Right.
All right, so linebacker Bud Dupree is expected to be released from the Titans. Is
It's
this a bad move for the Titans?
It seems to be a fire sale in Tennessee right now. Derrick Henry has been reported in some trade talks. Ryan Tannehill, just fire everybody and start new like at this point. Last new news, Brock Purdy is set to have surgery on his UCL on Friday. The recovery is 6 months. Does he start for the 49ers next year, Combs?
He'll be back for training camp. He will start for the 49ers next year.
He will start.
Unless Aaron Rodgers is in San Francisco.
Oh, that's not going to happen. Are you calling it now? Aaron Rodgers is San Fran?
It's a possibility.
Let me ask you this question. Did you hear the news from the Combine that says Tom Brady to Miami?
I don't watch the Combine because I don't watch people throw football in their shorts and think that they are Greek gods.
Didn't you watch me in my shorts, though? Didn't you, on YouTube the other day?
I did see that. I mean, I puked in my mouth a little bit, but I did see it.
So James comes in and says, Ravens need to non-exclusive tag Lamar Jackson, giving them the shelves and a shot to move on. So what a exclusive tag means, Combs, is they can offer him the tag, but other teams have the opportunity to talk to him. But if they talk to him and they offer him $300 million a year and Lamar Jackson takes that, then that said team has to give the Ravens 2 first-round picks. Should the Ravens really do that?
You put yourself in a bind, I believe, if you do that. And here's why. I'm not giving you 2 first-round picks for Lamar. So you're kind of going to be forced to keep him.
Right.
I mean, would you give up 2 first-round picks for Lamar?
So
I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for any running back.
As you guys know, I am a Lamar Jackson realist. I call it the way I see it. Lamar Jackson is a damn good athlete. He's a damn good running quarterback, but he sucks at the pocket. He is the worst pocket quarterback I've seen in a very, very long time, even though he does have a better pocket percentage than Josh Allen. So wrap your head around that one. But to give 2 first rounds for Lamar Jackson, it would have to be the right situation. And I'm not talking like the Atlanta Falcons, where they are a lot more than a good quarterback away from making the playoffs. It would have to be a team that is literally a quarterback away. And I'm not talking about just a quarterback. They have to have the offensive scheme to fit said system too. So really, Lamar Jackson, besides going to the Ravens, the only place I truly see him fitting in anywhere is San Francisco. Why? Because they hand the ball off 80% of the freaking time. And do you really want to waste 2 first rounds on a quarterback handing the ball off? Absolutely not. So I would not personally give up 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson at all. I mean, honestly, they will probably end up working out a deal not this year, not next year, but the year after that. He will get a Kirk Cousins treatment where he might get franchise tag 3 years in a row.
I could see a team like the Miami Dolphins going all in for Lamar Jackson.
Really?
Yeah, he's a much better version of Tua because he can most likely stay healthy more than Tua can. And you're not getting Tom Brady. I mean, I've heard all the rumors. He's not coming back.
Right.
So it's not. I could see Miami. I don't know that you give them 2 first-round picks for Lamar if you're Miami, but if there is a team that's going to do it, they might be crazy enough to do it.
So, first things first is I don't know if Miami has first two first-round picks to give anybody because they gave up 6 picks for Tyreek Hill. So it'd have to be like 25 and 26 down the road or something. I don't know. Something.
You get the 2 first-round picks in 2030 and 2031.
Right. And, oh, by the way, the NFL goes bankrupt 2028, and sorry, you're SOL, right?
And now you're out. Yeah.
And now Arthur Brown is popping in. As you know, Combs, he is a huge Miami Dolphins fan, and he says he opens up an offense being a dual threat. Lamar wants to come home. Fins up, baby. Preach, Combs, preach.
Wow. That would be a great signing for the. I really believe that would push the Dolphins to that next level, and that would be a 2-team race in that division for the next 10 years.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How does that push the Miami Dolphins above that next level? They have star-studded receivers that run really fast, really straight, really fast. Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball over 30 yards, Combs.
Tyreek Hill is a hell of a route runner.
He is a hell of a route runner. 30-plus yards down the field.
No, stop. Tyreek Hill is a route runner. Tyreek Hill can run some routes now.
I'm not saying
Jalen Waddle can run some routes too. Look, that is a dynamic offense. I mean, he's the same exact style quarterback that they have in Tua anyway.
Oh, no.
And Tua's not a very accurate passer either.
Tua is pass first. Lamar Jackson is run first. Let's just be honest there.
Tua can't see above the line of scrimmage.
We're talking about
He's
Kyler.
4'3".
That's Kyler Murray.
He makes Michelle look tall.
Speaking of Michelle, what's up, Michelle? I see you in the chat.
There's no way that you want Tua over Lamar. Lamar puts this team on a next level. I know what you say about Lamar, and I know you're not high on Lamar. And I'm starting to come down on Lamar too as a quarterback. But he can still do a lot of things well.
You know who else can do a lot of things really well?
His game, and he knows how to win.
Skylar Thompson can do a lot of things really well for the Miami Dolphins too. And he was a 7th-round draft pick. You're not giving up 2 first-round draft picks and $300 million from the Kansas State University, baby.
You went to Kansas State, right?
The Kansas State. Put the respect on the name, Combs. The Kansas State University.
They let you in. They'll let anybody in.
Oh, I was a lot dumber back then too. That's what's crazy about it. They smarted me out. I used to drink water out of the hose. Now I drink it out of a bottle, thinking it's safer.
Nobody knows that you didn't stutter until after you went to K-State and got hit during practice.
That is a complete false lie. My mom caused my stutter. I was surfing in a Food for Less shopping cart, and she put a rock in front of the wheel and flew me and cracked my head open. I was like 3 years old. I promise you. That was the day I became dumber.
Did you just blame your mom for child abuse?
Listen, my grandma was there, and my mom picked me up and spanked my butt after I cracked my head open from, you shouldn't told you. I told you not to stand in the cart. And my grandma was like, I think you're being a little too rough on him. And my mom told my grandma to shut up, and my grandma smacked her across the mouth. Don't you ever talk back to me, woman. Remember like it was Tuesday.
I would stick with the K-State story.
Yeah. That's probably a lot better. But, Combs, it is Monday, and here on Monday, we do way or no way. Are you ready to get started with some way or no way, my man?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Do I got the intro to way or no way? I do not, but I got the video.
No way. Yes way.
All right, so the first way or no way of the night, Combs, is we are going to talk about this title segment, and it is about the man, that myth, and that legend, Mr. Geno Smith. He did agree to a 3-year, $103 million contract with the Seattle Seahawks this season, or today, and moving on. So, Combs, I got to ask you this question. Way or no way, Geno Smith got a great deal with the Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, way. He definitely got a great deal. He played himself into a contract. He deserves to go into the next 3 seasons with a contract, but they need to go out and get a quarterback to push him and to test him and to compete with him for the starting job, because you can't count on Geno Smith being the same quarterback he was last season, because history is not on your side if that's what you're doing. Geno Smith, I hope he plays like he did this year, because I want Geno Smith to succeed. I like Geno Smith. It's a great story, too. It's great for us to talk about. But I don't think that Geno Smith can carry you past what he carried you to this year. I don't. And I don't care what you put around him.
So when I look at this Geno Smith deal, I go to sportstrack.com and I clicked on the market value for Geno Smith. Combs, you know what the market value for a person like Geno Smith is? $39.3 million a season. Okay. Also, if you were to have tagged Geno Smith, he would have got paid about $45 million, give or take. Rough estimate there. It's the average of the top 5 or whatever it is, right? So with all that being said, roughly the Seattle Seahawks got Geno Smith on loan for $35 million a season, which is a complete steal on their part. Now, the Seattle Seahawks, they did great business here. You got a man underneath $5 million underneath market value, and you get him for the next 3 seasons. And let's say he sucks this year, you have a number 6 overall pick from the Denver Broncos, right? They could draft a quarterback right now, Combs. They could mold him this season, and Geno Smith's contract is not fully guaranteed. You cut that man next year, bada bing, bada boom. That $100 million is gone. You got your franchise quarterback in C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, etc., whoever you want. The Seattle Seahawks definitely stole us 100%. Geno Smith, sorry, man, you got screwed in the end.
I don't think he got screwed. I think he got himself into a contract for this upcoming season, and good for him, because I forgot he was in the league.
Yeah,
this past year
he was a backup apparently for the 49ers and then the Seahawks, which I had no idea he was a backup. He was a backup for the 49ers. So yeah, he definitely played himself into this contract.
Geno Smith, are we going to see Scooby-Doo come out in the field mid-season next year and pull Geno Smith's head off, and it's really Colin Kaepernick?
Oh my God, they kind of look alike, right? Just like one's a little bit darker than the other, but they're both ugly as fuck. Let's just be honest.
I'm not going
there. But yeah, and to be honest, when we think about the other market for Geno Smith, where could have he legitimately landed, Combs? Could he have been successful in Carolina? I don't think so. Would he have been successful in New Orleans? I don't think so. I think Seattle.
I think he's in the right situation.
Yeah. It's a kind of a win-win situation for Seattle, and it's kind of a lose-lose situation for Geno Smith in the end, I think.
He already knows the system, and you can give a guy some time to develop. It was a good deal for both sides, I think.
Only time will tell, but he did sign that 3-year, $103 million deal, giving him about $35 million a season, and he still does have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Let's forget DK Metcalf was a top 5 receiver just 2 years ago. So this year he was obviously a little bit injury plagued, but it is what it is. Moving on.
No way. Yes way.
And on this next what?
Nothing.
I played the video, Combs. Sorry you can't hear it.
Oh.
God, let me play it.
Or see it.
No way. Yes way.
I'm Irish.
On the next way or no way, we are going to go to the AFC West in the Kansas City, and Kansas City is expected not to tag Orlando Brown Jr. Obviously, Orlando Brown Jr. turned down a pretty massive contract deal for the Kansas City Chiefs last season, about $200 million over 5 years, roughly about $22 million a season. Way or no way, Combs, this is bad for Casey's bid to run it back.
That's a way. It's a definite way. I mean, Orlando Brown is only 26 years old. He's one of the premier offensive linemen in the league. And there's a theme for tonight, Buck. Welcome to Chicago, Orlando Brown. Welcome to Chicago, baby. We got too much money to spend. Orlando Brown is coming to Chicago as well. So yes, it's bad for KC, but it's great for Chicago.
So this is a no way on my part because Orlando Brown Jr. may want that 22, 25, $26 million year contract, but his market value, his overall play, Combs, does not really warrant that type of money. Now, he is a $20 million lineman, right? But he is, on average, however they figure out stats for offensive linemen, is a pressure on the quarterback, sacks, and holding, and like it is all factored in, right? He is not even a top 10 lineman per PFF, Combs. So he wants top lineman money, David Bakhtiari money, Jeremy Tunzel money, and he is not even on those guys' level. So I understand he wants to get paid. I understand he thinks he earned that right by not giving up a sack. Also, at the same time, the Philadelphia Eagles defense kind of shit the bed in the Super Bowl, but we digress from
You
that.
know where he gets paid?
He gets paid in the Chicago Bears?
Because he's better than every offensive lineman we have.
So let me ask you this. As a Chicago Bear fan, paying a left tackle in Orlando Brown Jr., let's say $25 million a season over the next 4 or 5 years, does that truly make the rest of the offensive line better just because of all these signings that you want to do? Allen Robertson, Robbie Anderson, Orlando Brown, right? There's your $150 million.
Look, Orlando Brown instantly makes the Bears' offensive line better.
How?
Because
let's go to the other side.
Any worse? There's no the Bears' offensive line is terrible. They need to replace every piece on the offensive line. So yes, Orlando Brown makes the Bears better.
So let me ask you this. If you are fixing a car, right, and you have 4 bad tires, right, are you going to spend $200,000 on one tire and $100 on the rest of the tires, or do you want to kind of spread that out evenly and make your whole car at least functionable, rather than have one big ass nice wheel and the rest all spares?
When you're saying it that way, then yes.
How is that any different?
Just going the other way, because the difference is that the car can't. It's different because the Bears are a poorly run organization. So to get players to come here to show that things are going to be better, you're going to have to overpay a little bit to get those guys to come.
So let me overpay an offensive lineman and my quarterback still gets killed.
$125 million to spend. $125 million to spend. You're going to have to overpay to get some of these great players to come to your organization.
So you're putting Orlando Brown Jr. as a great offensive lineman? Yes. Yeah, he is. He is pretty damn good. But speaking of ugly, he's ugly too, man. Get those damn teeth fixed. You're gonna be making $25 million a year, man. Get those teeth fixed. Damn.
Dude, I ain't talking to nobody about their teeth, man. I'm missing like 4 of them. My front one is freaking chipped.
Yeah.
I play too much hockey. I don't talk to anybody about their teeth.
Me neither. I haven't brushed mine in 6 months. Fuck it.
Makes sense.
Moving on.
No way. Yes way.
And on the next Where No Way of the night, this is a Kansas City theme, it seems like here, but Kansas City Chiefs are expected to release Frank Clark, defensive end. He has had a massive deal with the Kansas City Chiefs in years past, and basically he is refusing to restructure his deal to bring other players in, keep players like Orlando Brown Jr., etc. Combs, Frank Clark is due $21 million. Way or no way, this hurts Kansas City.
Oh, it definitely hurts Kansas City. Welcome to Chicago, Frank Clark. Welcome to Chicago. Because The Bears again need a defensive end. They're probably going to draft one in Will Anderson. Need a defensive end. Frank Clark would look great in Chicago. Welcome to Chicago, Frank Clark.
Yeah, and did you know that Frank Clark has about 3 warrants out for his arrest in California for carrying AK-47s? And I hear in Illinois, you can kill somebody and not have to worry about going to jail, right?
Welcome to Chicago, Frank Clark.
It's a match made in heaven, baby, right? No, but seriously, this is a huge downfall for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I know he has warranted a lot of money, and Frank Clark's stats may have not been that great this season, but defensive ends, linebackers, their stats do not show their productivity on the field, Combs, because when you're on the defense and a said cornerback shuts down a whole half of the field, what do, Combs? You go to the other side. Therefore, interceptions go down, pass deflections go down, tackles go down. That's what Frank Clark did with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles are like, we don't want to run nowhere near Frank Clark. Let's run the other way. And that's what they did. This is a huge blow for the Kansas City Chiefs if they ultimately do end up releasing him because, yes, he is due a lot of money. Yes, you can probably pick up some free agents or some draft picks or whatever, right? But that
look,
sucks.
I've been joking around tonight about welcome to Chicago with all these guys, but Frank Clark needs to be the Bears' number 1 priority in free agency because you get Frank Clark and then you're still in a position to draft Will Anderson. They're not going to know what side of the ball to run to.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question. Would a Allen Robertson II want to come back to Chicago after getting that massive deal from the LA Rams?
No, I don't think Allen Robinson would want to come back to Chicago. He didn't like the organization. He didn't like the way it was run. Now, look, I think the Bears are on a different trajectory right now with Ryan Poles. I think they're on a different trajectory with the way that they're running the team right now. But I can't imagine a situation where Allen Robinson comes back.
Yeah, so let me bring up this comment from Arthur Brown here. He says the Bears' best bet is to rebuild and use a draft to rebuild. And I am going to strongly disagree with you, Arthur Brown. How you rebuild a team or build a team in general is I feel you always get your needs through the free agency because you know what you're going to get from a Frank Clark. You know what you're going to get from Allen Robertson the second. You do not know what you're going to get from a Will Levis, C.J. Stroud. You don't know what you're going to get from them. Right. So what you do is you rebuild/build a team through free agency and then add depth or a few pieces that you missed out through your draft. That's how I think.
Correct.
Combs,
and the Bears are in a prime position to do both. Like I said, it's $124 million in cap space. And they have the number 1 overall pick, which if they do this right, here's my thing. And if you've heard us on Man Hour Chicago, you've heard me say this already. If I am Ryan Poles, the ultimate move here is to trade number 1 to Houston for number 2. They also have the number 12 and get a second round pick. You don't even need another first round pick next year. Don't get greedy. Get the 2, the 12, and their second round. Flip the 2 to Indy. And then you pick up the 4 and pick up their second round. Now you've got the 4, the 12, and 3 second round picks. You can get Will Anderson. You can probably get Quentin Johnson out of TCU as a 6'6" wide receiver with great speed and great hands. And then you've got 3 second round picks. That's what the Bears need to do with the draft, and that's how you build through the draft. But through free agency with $126 million in cap space, you can spend $80 million of that on players that like Frank Clark or Orlando Brown Jr., who are going to immediately make an impact on your team. So the Bears are in prime position to do both, Arthur, and I think that they will. I really do think that Ryan Poles is the right guy at the right time for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, here's Combs trying to pull some draft day bullshit here and like, let me give me your first draft pick. I'm gonna get like 7 other picks. Like,
you know why? Because on draft day, we are going to be live here in Chicago at Bourbon Street. We've got all sorts of things planned. I was talking with people, finalizing plans today. We've got to go ahead to do everything we've wanted to do, everything we've talked about backstage. And this is the biggest draft in Bears history. This is the biggest offseason in Bears history.
yeah.
So to be able to do this live in Chicago and do Man Hour and bring Man Hour to the people of Chicago, it's going to be a great night, not just for the Bears, but for us as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic that I'm wearing my Wrigleyville hat tonight that I got at your wedding. So it fits pretty good. So had a great.
Well, I mean,
great
you didn't
time
get
there.
it at the wedding. I didn't sell stuff at the wedding.
Yeah, he did. That's how he paid for the thing. No, we went to a Cubs game and that was the funnest thing I've had in a very, very long time. Definitely need to do it again here. But
Yeah,
James comes in and as like and says Lamar needs to go somewhere else and stay far as away from my Dolphins as possible. So James is a Miami Dolphins fan, says Lamar, we don't want you. Arthur Brown says, come on, man, we want you. Dolphins fans, you guys got to pick a side here. Combs, do you think James is right? Lamar Jackson needs to stay away from Miami.
I'm interested to hear why. That's what I want to know, James. Let me know why you don't want Lamar.
Well, I can tell you why, because it's going to warrant 2 first-round picks if the Ravens use the non-exclusive tag. It's probably going to warrant a $300 million contract, which he wants that all fully guaranteed from my understanding. Like, he wants a lot of guaranteed cash. And Lamar Jackson hasn't played a full season ever in his NFL career since his second season.
If that's why, then I'll listen to that argument. But I have a feeling that a lot of Dolphins fans right now are drinking the Kool-Aid about Tom Brady coming.
Yeah, which is, I mean, we can't rule it out.
No, but I don't know. He plus he was at the UFC fights this weekend, which, man, I had a parlay bet of all parlay bets, and then I got scared before the final fight, and I cashed it out to win 500 instead of winning 1,000.
It happens sometimes. But James says, do not give up that many picks. So the 2 first-round picks, way too much money, and he cannot throw the ball, which everything I agree with. So I agree with everything.
That argument I'm okay with. I mean, if that's your assessment of him, I'm not really going to argue with that because that's a pretty fair assessment. And if you don't want to pay him that money, you don't want to drown yourself like the Chiefs are drowning themselves right now with Patrick Mahomes. Granted, Patrick Mahomes is a far superior quarterback to Lamar Jackson, but right now they're in a few years they're going to be going through cap space hell.
Which
if you don't want to do that to your team, I'm okay with that.
I mean, they're actually kind of doing it now with Frank Clark and Orlando Brown. It's like I said, we are seeing the cap casualties happen right now. Also, you have to realize as well that the Miami Dolphins did pay Tyreek Hill a bunch of money as well. So Katie is popping in the chat here. What's up, Katie? Glad to see you here. And she says that I don't like that the Chiefs didn't sign Juju Smith back. They are working to sign Juju. They have until Tuesday evening to either work out a deal or franchise tag or let him walk. But Katie, let's just be honest. Juju did not produce that much for the Kansas City Chiefs this season. It was a receiver core by committee, and there are receivers out there that could come. Allen Robertson II. The Rams want to pay you $15 million to take that man off of your hands. There's Odell Beckham Jr. There's Allen Lazard. There's Combs' boy, Allen Robertson, Robbie Anderson, right? Combs, do you want to see Juju back as a Chief, or do you think he would be better suited somewhere else?
I mean, look, anybody who takes a chance on Juju is taking a chance. He's not a top wide receiver. I'm sorry, he's not.
No, he's not. He is the number 2 receiver on the team.
He might not even be a number 2 anymore. And he's one of those guys that has shown time and time again that he needs premier talent around him for him to succeed, because he can't exceed or excel, I should say,
Right.
against top cornerbacks in this league. He can't.
You are.
Unless they call a bogus hold on him in the final 2 minutes of the game.
Here we go again. Holding's a holding at any time of the game, Colmsy. But, Katie, let me ask you this. Did you know that Juju was even on the team until the Super Bowl? Because stats tell me that he was pretty insignificant most of the season. And this is coming from a Chiefs guy. I am a Kansas City Chiefs guy, right? Even though I'm wearing a maybe next year Detroit Lions shirt and a Cubs hat. But, hey, I'm a Chiefs guy. So...
And he's typically wearing a Cowboys hat.
Yeah, it just depends on what day I want to root for champions, right? James comes back and says,
1995?
"What's that?" It's 1996.
So what is this? 1995?
It's 1985 if you're a Chicago Bears fan. But hey, we digress from that. Yeah. James says, "Plus, we don't have any first-round picks because of the whole last year's Brady incident. Forgot about that. Forgot about the tampering thing. So the 24th pick is null and void." So no 24th round pick this year.
For a very fair price of Jalen Waddle, the Chicago Bears have a first round pick for you.
You would give up a first round pick for Jalen Waddle?
In a heartbeat.
What first round pick though?
Not the number 1 overall pick. I mean, unless you're giving me picks back. But if I'm trading the 2 and the 4, I might give you and I'm getting the 12 as well. Then I might give you the 12.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid. You are drinking the Kool-Aid if you're thinking Jalen Waddle's a 12th overall pick. Good.
Name me a wide receiver you're going to get right now that's better than Jalen Waddle.
Anybody in
Quentin
the draft.
Johnston?
Anybody in the draft right now. Anybody that's projected the top
because
the top
he had a good a combine?
Yeah, he ran really fast. No, but I think Jalen Waddle would be not very good in Chicago, not because of the quarterback situation, not because of your offensive line situation, but I feel you guys are a run-heavy first team, and he is a type of player that has to get in the groove of the game, right? He needs to see the ball 10, 12, 15 times to really start to be effective. That's why I don't think it would ever happen, or he would be effective there. I
don't know, man.
Kind of like when
Jalen Waddle's kind of out there.
Kind of like when Torrey Brown went to the Seattle Seahawks, and you forgot he was even in the league, and he came back to the Patriots and won a Super Bowl. I think it would be a lot like that. James says, "Hell no, the Penguin ain't going nowhere, baby."
I mean,
Combs, stop! You're not going to recruit my boy.
In wide receiving.
What's that?
Didn't he lead the Bills in receiving yards?
Jalen Waddle is a Miami Dolphin, and
that's what I said.
You said didn't he lead Bills in all receiving? I thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I know. I think it was Tyreek Hill, but they're like 1,400 and 1,200 back-to-back yards. They were pretty close, but either way.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle had 1356. Dude, I would love to have that on the Bears. I don't think we've had a guy who caught 75 passes in 30 years.
There's a reason for that. Nobody wants to play in the cold or can catch the ball in the damn cold. Get a dome and you might win some games.
We're getting a dome.
Moving on.
No way. Yes way.
And on the next way or no way, Calvin Riddley has fully been reinstated by the NFL despite his betting on himself a couple seasons ago. He was traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars in mid-season last year, Combs. So way or no way, with the addition of Calvin Riddley to the Jacksonville Jaguars roster, they are a legitimate threat in the AFC next season.
Welcome to Chicago. No, I'm just joking. Calvin Riddley, if he, God, yeah, I'd have to say they're a threat. I mean, I really need to see it again from Trevor Lawrence. I said he was a bust coming out of the draft. You agreed with me. There's a bust coming out of the draft. So far, I think I wouldn't say necessarily a bust, but he's definitely not what our peers in this industry were saying about him coming out of the draft. He was not the prototypical quarterback that you would build in a lab if you were going to build a quarterback. He is not that guy, but if he's as good as he was in the second half of last season, they could be a tough out in the South.
Yeah. So first things first, Combs, is let's put a caveat on that. We said he was going to be a bust when what's his face was still the coach there, the dude from Ohio State. Forget his name. The guy that kicked the kicker in the face and stuff like that. Whatever his name. Urban Meyer, right?
Oh, yeah, you're talking Urban Meyer.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and put a caveat on that because Doug Peterson is a quarterback whisperer. For whatever reason, Doug Peterson gets the best out of his quarterbacks, Nick Foles, right, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on and on and on. But to say that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a legitimate threat with Calvin Ridley on their roster, Combs, the Jags are a legitimate threat even without Calvin Ridley on their roster. The Jacksonville Jaguars took so many leaps and bounds this season. It was just crazy to see how they were. Didn't you have them in the top 10 of your power rankings like the first 5 weeks of the season, and then they dropped the 5 or 6 games in a row, and we're like, well, write these guys off, and then all of a sudden they're winning a playoff game. We're like, what just happened? Them winning that playoff game and playing the Kansas City Chiefs the way they did, that is a huge momentum shift in Jacksonville. Now they are expecting to win the South. Now they are expecting to compete in the AFC. Before that, they were not expecting to. They were just kind of happy to be there, right? They have learned how to lose in the playoffs. Now they're going to win. They are a legitimate threat in the AFC. And Trevor Lawrence, you are right. He does have to prove it to me one more year to kind of not take that bust label off of him, because I think he already has that off of him, but just to prove to me he's a top 10 quarterback, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's going to be hard for him to make the top 10.
I actually have him as a top 10 quarterback now.
You have Trevor Lawrence as a top 10 quarterback right now?
Yeah. Well, this is for the 2022 season. Going into 2023, off the top of my head right now, projecting he's probably going to be a top 13, top 14 quarterback. He is definitely on the upper echelon, like a tier 2 quarterback, I think.
Man, I don't know. I can't get with you on that one.
Who do you think is better than him? Just like give me a couple quarterbacks that we think might be neck and neck that he is just not better than, like a Kirk Cousins or something like that. Like, is he better than Kirk Cousins?
He's not better than Kirk Cousins right now.
He is not. Even though he has more playoff wins.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Now, I know you are a homer, and I totally agree with you.
No, this has nothing to do with it. He's not a better quarterback.
Justin Fields has the potential to be a good quarterback. Right now, the stats tell me that he is just a little above average.
Okay. I mean, after everything he just did with no offensive line and no wide receivers.
Right. But right now, his stats tell me, my eye test tell me that he is just a little bit better than average. He's about 14, 15 ranked quarterback. I would put Trevor Lawrence above him.
He's not better than Jared Goff.
No, not right now. Jared Goff is playing back at his Super Bowl level. Yeah, he's playing really well.
I mean, is he better than Ryan Tannehill?
I would see Ryan Tannehill is tough because every time he starts to play well, he starts to play like a top 10 quarterback that I think he is, he gets hurt. Then you're like, bam, he's back down to like square zero, right? It's just
he's not better than Derek Carr.
No, he's not.
Hell, is he better than Brock Purdy?
Yes. Brock Purdy was a one-hit wonder.
All right. I mean, so maybe you have him 15. I mean, I don't. I mean, you're definitely not putting him in top 10, right?
I mean, obviously, to be determined, right? Preseason has to happen. Offseason has to happen. We have to see his growth. But thinking about it right now, he's probably about number 12.
Is he better than Geno?
Yes, I believe so. I think Geno just had so when you go back and you look at the tape of Geno Smith, he threw a lot of 50-50 balls, and those 50-50 balls went his way. We have seen quarterbacks that lived and died by the 50-50 ball, and they went one way this year, and then the next year they were a complete bust. And I'm not saying Geno is going to be a complete bust because he's 11 years in the league, right? But those 50-50 balls might go the other way. Dak Prescott's 50 balls coming to mind, right?
Yeah, I mean, is he better than Derek Carr?
He is not. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He has a way of getting the best out of the players that he has. He has a way of leading the team, right? Now, will his stats tell you that he's a top 10 quarterback next year for the New Orleans Saints? Absolutely not. The Saints are going to be so bad.
We just named 5 guys outside of the top 10 that he's not better than.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting about a number 12.
I just said 5 guys outside the top 10 that he's not better than.
Wait,
him at 12.
You don't think Jared Goff's a top 10 quarterback? You don't think Derek Carr's a top 10 quarterback? You don't think?
No, because I'm not an idiot.
Jesus, idiot or not, Derek Carr's a top 10 quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is right there on the cusp.
Derek Carr puts up top 10 numbers. He's not a top 10 quarterback.
Quincy J's jumped in the chat here, Combs. He says TFG Nation. I'm not for sure what that is. Are you a gangsta? TFG Nation? Stand up.
I got
nothing.
No clue what TFG is.
Is that a Grand Theft Auto thing? Kids these days.
Sheesh.
Back in my day, we had to dial up that internet. Goes, whatever. James says Field is out there all alone, though. You are absolutely right, James. He is running what Combs. Didn't he have like more rushing yards than anybody in the NFL last season?
Is it TFG Financial Corporation?
I don't know.
Comes up when asset management.
He could be an asset manager. That'd be great. I need some asset management advice here. If you could hook me up, Quincy J.
Does it stand for these fucking guys?
Whoa, probably. That'd be cool. James says Field is out there all alone, though. Combs. This guy is out here defending Combs. Never defend Combs.
He is out there all alone.
Jeez.
But he's not. He's $126 million in cap space, and the number 1 overall draft pick, which are going to gain draft capital from. He's not going to be out there all alone next year.
And they still mess it up and only get 4 wins next season.
I'll tell you what, as a Bears fan, it wouldn't surprise me.
You are doing the Cleveland Browns thing. We need 10 first-round overall picks in the next 12 years to win 1 playoff game, and then want to cut our quarterback.
They need to spend the $126 million wisely, and they need to use the draft pick wisely. If they do that, they are a worse to first team next year.
Do you think they spend all that money on one guy?
That would be very Bearsian. And it'd be like we just gave Khalil Mack $100 million for next season.
Yeah, and then trade him to where do you go? The Rams or the Raiders? I mean,
Rams.
Did you go to the Rams or Raiders?
No, he went to the Chargers. Sorry,
whatever. See that shows you how effective he was. I don't know.
He was pretty effective. That was a nasty defense. They just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, or beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But anyways, wrapping it up, Combs here. We got a little bit of time left. Josh Jacobs has officially been tagged by the Las Vegas Raiders. Is this a bad move by the Raiders?
Yes. I wouldn't use my franchise tag or a first-round draft pick on a running back ever.
The Raiders messed this up. By 1, they did not give him the 5th-year option. So he's like, you know what? Hold my beer. Look what I'm going to do year 4. What did he do, Combs? He led the league in rushing. Now they want to pay him, that man, $10 million. Josh Jacobs is pissed off right now. He is pissed.
Those guys are not worth... Look, running backs are not worth a franchise tag.
Well, the franchise tag for the running back is only $10 million.
But it's still... You're not worth a franchise tag. The Cowboys have so many things to worry about. Franchise tagging a running back when you have the highest paid running back on your roster is not a smart thing to do.
I don't know. We'll see. But Josh Jacobs has been tagged. It is what it is. Raiders, you will suck for eternity because F the Raiders, right? Combs, send us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.